Hello, we're here to learn about the word likewise. This was actually the word from last Friday, but since I was not here last Friday, I wasn't able to do the video, so I'm doing it today to make up for it. It's actually a week 6 word, excuse me, a week 6 word for level 4 in quarter 3. So the word likewise, it's an adverb. And it means the same in a similar way, or also. It's an adverb, but it's a special kind of adverb. It's called a conjunctive adverb. This is if you look at No Red Ink, this is called thamo, T-H-A-M-O. That's what they call this kind of word. So if you want to know more about this, go to No Red Ink, go to thamos, T-H-A-M-O, and you can practice with the rules for this kind of words. People get confused by these words because technically they're adverbs, but in terms of their meaning, they're more like conjunctions in a way. So what do I mean? So because they're more like conjunctions because one thing that conjunctions can do is they can connect clauses together. Clauses are like simple sentences. Conjunctions can connect them together, but this is not a conjunction. What's the difference? So in a conjunction, you have two simple sentences, basically like two clauses, like I like pizza, comma, but it is bad for me. So you have I like pizza, that's a clause, and but it is bad for me, that's another, and then it is bad for me is another clause. And the word but connects them together. They're connected together as part of one bigger sentence. Because you have a comma. So I like pizza, comma, but it is bad for me. Okay, that's a coordinating conjunction. Connecting those two ideas together inside one big sentence. On the other hand, a conjunctive adverb is not like that. Conjunctive adverb shows relationships between ideas, but it does it basically across two different, usually like across two different sentences. Or you can use a semicolon. So let's take a look. So if you look at my note, it says likewise is a conjunctive adverb. It is not a conjunction. Use this punctuation. So if we look at the first row, I love pizza, semicolon, likewise, comma, I like hot dogs. So what we're saying here is I like pizza, I love pizza. In the same way, in a similar way, I like hot dogs. Or also I like hot dogs. It could really work with either of those definitions, I think, depending on how you think about it, that example. But, so if you look here at my correct example, it says I love pizza, semicolon, likewise, comma. So before that word likewise, we can put a semicolon there. If you've learned about semicolons before, semicolons, I know in Spanish they're called punto y coma. People get confused because they think they're like commas, but they're not like commas. A semicolon basically functions like a period, in the sense that it goes in between basically two sentences. Technically, those two parts on the two sides of the semicolon are considered one sentence. But if you think about the way it really works, it's like two sentences because it has on one side you have a subject and predicate. And on the other side, you also have a subject and predicate. So like here we say, I love pizza. And then on the right side, I like hot dogs. Okay, the word likewise can be there in between with a semicolon. Second one that's also possible, correct. I love pizza, period. Likewise, comma, I like hot dogs. So we can do what? After the pizza, before the word likewise, we can have a semicolon or a period. So see, the second one has a period. That's actually two sentences. But the word likewise is still kind of connecting there, right? Even though you got a period there, the word likewise is connecting those ideas between those two sentences. A lot of transition expressions that you learn for essay writing, like the word also is a conjunctive adverb. It's like this. So you can put a period before it, period, also, comma, right? Or semicolon before it, semicolon, also, comma. What you cannot do is, like the third example here, it says wrong. I love pizza, comma, likewise, I like hot dogs. That is wrong. Do not use a, sorry I left out the A in the word comma. It's Monday. Do not use a comma. It should be C-O-M-M-A. Do not use a comma here. Okay, I love pizza, comma, likewise. No, not correct. That's why it's not a conjunction, because a conjunction would be, you put it together in the same sentence like that. Some kinds of conjunctions do use a comma, right? But with these words, do not use a comma. So I'm talking a lot. I hope that made some sense. We've had words like this before in academic vocabulary. We've seen this before. Same rule about punctuation. All these words, conjunctive adverbs, follow this rule for punctuation. So in Spanish it says igualmente or asimismo. No word families. Synonyms also similarly or in addition. Antonyms, on the other hand, are in contrast. Because that's the opposite, right? We're saying likewise means in the same way, de la misma manera. But on the other hand is like the opposite of that. It's showing that two things are different from each other. Likewise shows that something is true and something else is also true, like in the same way. So here's an example for literature. You can compare short stories and plays because they have similar, they're not exactly the same thing, right? But they are similar in that they have plot structures. So they both have resolutions. So the resolution of a short story usually comes near the end. And you can put a semicolon. You could also put a period there. Likewise, comma, conflict in a play is often resolved in the last act. So that's saying, in a similar way, conflict in a play is often resolved in the last act. Right there, after the word end, we can have a semicolon. We can have a period. Can we have a comma? My imaginary audience says no, I hope, by now. So period, semicolon can go there, period can go there, comma cannot go there. That's the most common mistake with these words. On the final exam, you need to know the definition, but you also need to know the punctuation. There might be a multiple choice with this that will test you on the punctuation. So you should know semicolon or period before it, but not a comma. All right, thank you very much, and have a good day or good afternoon.